right, let's now talk about section 8.1 from Lehman's book. We're talking about factoring a trinomial of the form x squared plus bx plus c. In other words, we have no leading coefficient, so a leading coefficient other than 1. So when we were multiplying out back in the last chapter, remember that when we multiplied a binomial times a binomial where the leading coefficients were 1s, we kind of ignored the x's, right? And we just said, oh, that's x squared. And then for the middle term, we could have done x times 1x and 2 times x, giving us 1x and 2x, and then added those together. But we remember we talked about a shortcut, and that's this factor here and this factor here adding together. 2 plus 1 is equal to 3, and those were x's. And then plus, and then the product of these two numbers give us this. It is actually that pattern that is going to allow us to factor. So what we're finding is the factors of this number here that give us a sum or difference of this term right here. And how we'll know that it's a sum or difference, the sum or difference here, is going to be indicated by this sign right here. If this is a plus, it's a sum. And if it's a minus, it's a difference. And then once we find out if it's a sum or a difference, the next thing that we'll pay attention to is this sign right here. And this will tell us if it's a sum that they're both that sign. And if it's a difference, what it'll tell us is that whatever the larger sign is, the larger factor gets that sign. So if it's a difference, the larger factor is that sign. And the other one is the opposite sign, by the way. So, and the other, and of course that one, other one would be smaller, right? And we'll say factor by just repeating that is opposite. And I'll just say repeat that sign, opposite sign. Okay, so that's what we're going to be looking at. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to find the factors of the constant, and those factors we're going to find if they're a sum or a difference of the middle term, and we'll pay attention to this to find sum or difference. Then we're just going to put them into a binomial, and because this leading coefficient is 1 up here, we always know that these will just be x's. Just like when we multiplied them, we knew they were just going to be x squared. So we'll put the x's in our binomials, then we'll put the factors into each of the constant positions, and then finally, last but not least, we'll deal with the signs. And so those will be the processes that we're going to go through. So we'll start first of all by just placing the x's in positions, and then we'll go to the blue, our factors of our constant, and then we'll go to finding the signs that go with those factors to give the appropriate sum or difference. So let's go ahead and give one a try. So first off, we're going to deal with the constant here. So we need its factors. So 1 times 6 and 2 times 3 are the ways we can make 6. And then we're going to look for the factors that sum to 5. So we sum to 5. So now, which ones make a sum of 5? Well, 2 and 3 sum to 5. And so I'm going to write down an x with a 2 and an x with a 3 in binomials. And finally, the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look here to tell me what both of these signs are, because it's a sum. So these are both going to be pluses. And that's going to be my factorization. X plus 2 times x plus 3. So that's the way we're going to factor. Let's see, we might have time to do one more here. Next we have 12, so 1 and 12 and 2 and 6 and 3 and 4. And we're going to see that this is a minus, so this is a difference, and we want the ones that make a difference of 1. And so those will make a difference of 1. So now I need an x and an x, one that goes with the 4 and one that goes with the 3, and then whatever